Das, was wir hier entwickeln, ist im Prinzip der Antriebs- und Fahrdynamik-Baukasten, der für die Zukunft der M GmbH entscheidend ist.
We put all of the board members in our car and said, okay, feel it, drive it, and we'll talk afterwards. They got out of the car and they just said nothing. You think, okay, is this good or bad? But actually, after a couple of seconds, that felt like minutes, Oliver Zipse, our CEO, said, well, sorry for us waiting so long, but we had to process our feelings because this was incredible. We never thought you can do something like this with a car. I studied automotive engineering and my main subject was vehicle dynamics. So everything I've always did was trying to make cars faster, and actually that suits with M quite well. Well, this room is a classic room for BMW. This was the start of it all. It's actually like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. All these great cars in one room, it's very impressive. This is the car that won all the German touring car championships from 1975 to 1979 on. We went up to 206 horsepower, which actually in the 1970s was a lot of horsepower. Take out the weight as much as possible and push the engine power to as far as possible. And that is the recipe that we still use for racing as well as for our series production cars. We used the technology from this car, especially on the drivetrain, and put it into that car. A lot of people had concerns with turbocharging, but actually it made this also a winning car. It already showed what you can do. It was the intention to at the same time win races, and this one is the perfect connection, and with that the perfect start for the whole story of M and motorsports deriving from one central core. This is the first real M model that came to the market to make M available on street legal cars for a broader audience. Well, this actually is a really interesting car. We used the V12 engine. With that engine we also won in 1999 in Le Mans, the famous 24 hours of Le Mans race. People said you can't use an SUV for performance. Well, actually we did it. And we called this car the Beast because it was completely uncontrollable. You always have to start out with a beast that seems to be uncontrollable, and then the next step is make it controllable. We do have, now more than 20 years later, another beast on the roads. Now we will make that beast controllable so that the next step in high performance is on the horizon. When we started thinking about electromobility, we had no idea where this technology would lead us to.
Wenn man ehrlich ist, ist dieses Fahrzeug ein absolut rohes Fahrzeug. Es wird ja auch intern ein Stück weit The Beast genannt. Es ist extrem kraftvoll und ich würde nicht sagen schwer zu beherrschen, aber es hat nicht diese klassische Gesetztheit und Ruhe, die vielleicht auch ein BMW M in gewisser Weise auszeichnet. Und wir waren damals eine sehr, sehr kleine Truppe. In diesem sehr kleinen Team haben wir angefangen 2018. Da hieß es so, schaut euch das doch mal an. Der M-Anspruch ist eigentlich das bestmögliche Fahrzeug in puncto Fahrdynamik und Längsdynamik auf die Beine zu stellen.
Also ich habe mir als kleiner Bub an einem M3 die Nase platt gedrückt, die fahrdynamischen Eigenschaften eben auch in der neuen Generation wieder zu übertreffen. Das haben wir ja immer geschafft. Also jeder M3 ist deutlich besser gefahren als sein Vorgänger und das wird jetzt auch wieder so sein.
For me personally, it is the most interesting time in history because we're in a massive change, but that change has so many opportunities and chances and new possibilities that it is really cool to be in right now. The M5, and this is more or less the final edition that we had, actually we missed a lot of traction. And so what we said then is when we go to the next generation, we need to do something to control the power better because power is nothing without control. I can still remember January 2015, Cobo Hall, Detroit Motor Show, where I said in an interview, the next M5 generation will need four-wheel drive. And everyone was going, this is the end of the universe. Because if you put four-wheel drive on an M car, it will only go straight forward. There will be no dynamics left. It will not be rear biased anymore. And actually it is a rear-wheel drive, just with more traction, because we only use the front axle if we run out of traction at the rear, which is exactly what you need if you want to put the power to the ground. But I had to live with this, let's say, shitstorm for 2.5 or 3 years until the car came out and everyone could drive it for themselves, so that they actually can feel what it is like and say, now I understand what that guy said 3 years ago. He was right. We are always going the next step. And it's not just a small step. We're now working again on a big step. And it feels a little bit like January 2015, where I said, trust me, I'm an engineer, xDrive is going to be great. I'd say, trust me, that what we're working on right now for the future will be at least as great as what we did there.
So what is the next plan now?
Well, the next thing will be to find out where are the limits of the beast.